Well, a business group is calling on local lawmakers to help address the shortage of housing in Canada by simplifying permitting. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business claims even simple construction projects can be held up by red tape. For more on this, we're joined by Duncan Robertson. He's a senior policy analyst with the CFIB. Duncan, thanks so much for making time for us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
So this is a really interesting report. You're looking at some of the issues that people face when it comes to permitting. And that can be for something as small as doing a renovation. So can you give us just an example of the sort of challenges, whether it's financial or, the time that it takes in order to go through the permit process to get something done?
Absolutely. Well, we found that even some of the simplest projects, such as a bathroom renovation, can have some serious red tape associated with depending on which municipality you're in. If we look at Vancouver, the permitting cost is upwards of $2,000 for a $20,000 project. Additionally, around 10 forms are required. If we look at Toronto as well, 11 documents required. So it can have a really substantial impact on homeowners and small businesses alike. And we believe that cutting red tape in the permitting and approval process is a cost-efficient way to really speed up the home construction process.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you're talking about stuff like doing a renovation where you're maybe adding a bathroom somewhere or what have you, that could make something a part of a house into a suite. You know, when you're thinking about trying to make more housing units, is that where you're coming from? That there's more opportunity there if these even small projects were a little bit easier?
Absolutely. You know, if we think of secondary suites, CMHC has said it's a credible way to chip away at some of the housing needs we have right now. And if a small bathroom renovation, which would be one of many steps to a sister suite, if that is created untenable because of the cost associated with the permitting process or the documents required, it really impacts that solution as a whole. And if we take the perspective of, if it costs a substantial amount in both money and time to get a simple project done, imagine what it would take to build an entire house or even a large-scale development. So it's definitely a micro example of a macro issue and something we really want to get across to municipalities, that there is work that they can do to speed up that permitting and approval process.
Yeah, so where do you see some of the opportunities for improvement? Maybe some of the low-hanging fruit here in terms of making this process easier?
Absolutely. Well, municipalities can start off by simply taking a look at their current processes, finding any kind of efficiencies or way that they can improve that. Establishing publicly available service standards is huge. Making sure that a homeowner or a contractor knows exactly how long it will take to get that permitting done will definitely be beneficial, as well as just simplifying and even automating certain processes is definitely huge. We're seeing municipalities like the City of Richmond, My Business program, which creates real-time tracking. Additionally, they're aiming to auto-approve simple permits. So that could be definitely substantial when you're thinking of simple home renovations, being able to get those approved on the spot as soon as you click send. So there's definitely some municipalities doing some good work, and others who really.
And Duncan, is there something in particular that Kelowna is doing using artificial intelligence that you thought was noteworthy?
Absolutely. It's really a step in the really right direction at embracing automation. And it's a way that a lot of municipalities can take this best practice, put it into use across Canada. I think we'd see some really good results in terms of embracing automation and improving the permitting and approval process.